Good morning, fourth grade. Today we are going to do a practice test for our Unit 5 Earth Environment test. Alright, so we're going to be doing a practice test for our Earth Environment test. The questions that we will see on this practice test are very similar to the ones that are going to be on your test this week. If you have any trouble while completing this practice test, remember to use your study guide, Quizlet, to prepare. Also, if you need any help, I am available on office hours from 2 o'clock all the way till 3:30. So just stop by if you want to study together. Question 1 says, the air, water, and all the organisms that surround an area, what is it called? Is it called an organism, natural resource, C, environment, or D, topographic map? Take the time right now to answer on Edpuzzle. If you said C, environment, that is correct. Environment is what we call the area that is surrounded with the air, water, and all the different organisms. That is an environment. Let's move on to question 2. Question 2 says, and blank is all individual living things. What do we call all individual living things? Is it A, an organism? Is it B, fossil? Is it C, non-living thing? Or is it D, environment? Answer the question on Edpuzzle now. If you said an organism, that is correct. Organisms are all the living things on our planet Earth. They include plants and animals. Let's do question 3. Question 3 asks, living things, blank, able to move, grow, change, and reproduce. Is it A, living things are able to move, grow, change, and reproduce? Or is it B, living things are not able to move, grow, change, or reproduce? If you said A, are, that is correct. Living things are able to move, grow, change, and reproduce. Let's move on to question 4. Question 4 is asking about non-living things. Non-living things, blank, able to move, grow, change, and reproduce. Is it A, non-living things are able to move, grow, change, and reproduce? Or is it B, non-living things are not able to move, grow, change, and reproduce? You said B, that is correct. Non-living things are not able to move, grow, change, or reproduce. Let's move on to question 5. Question 5 says, what are the 3 items living things need to survive? So for question 5, our answer is going to consist of 3 choices. What do living things need to survive? Is it A, air, B, toys, C, water, D, food, or E, computer? Answer it on Edpuzzle now and make sure you select 3 of the items. If you said air, water, and food are the items living things need to survive, you are correct. Air, water, food are the things living things need to survive. Question 6 is asking, what environment is described below? It is wet and hot temperature. It has shallow and weak soil. Plants are trees, flowers, and moss. And the animals are monkeys, sloths, jaguars, snakes, beetles, and ants. What environment is being described? Is it a desert? Is it B, a tundra? Or is it C, a rainforest? If you said C, rainforest, that is correct. A rainforest has wet and hot temperature. The soil is very weak. However, it's full with many plants like trees, flowers, and moss, and there are animals of all kinds, including monkeys, sloths, jaguars, snakes, beetles, and ants. Let's go on to question 7. What environment is described? This environment has cold and dry temperature. The soil has permafrost, which means it's frozen underground. Plants are grass, shrubs, herbs, and then animals are Arctic hares, Arctic foxes, snowy owls, and caribou. What environment am I describing? If you said tundra, that is correct. A tundra is a cold and dry environment which has its soil frozen, and animals that can be found in a tundra are Arctic hares, Arctic foxes, snowy owls, and caribou. Alright, question 8. Question 8 is asking us to identify which environment is being described. This environment has dry and hot temperature. It has rocky and sandy soil, and the plants are cacti, mesquite trees, and animals are spiders, reptiles, tortoises, and bighorn sheep. Which environment is being described on question 8? Is it A, desert? Is it B, tundra? Or is it C, rainforest? If you said A, desert, that is correct. A desert environment is dry and hot. It is a very rocky and sandy area. Plants in a desert are cacti and mesquite trees, which are plants that don't need much water. And animals are spiders, reptiles, tortoises, and bighorn sheep. So that is the end of our practice test. If you did very well answering the questions, then you shall be prepared for our test. But it does not hurt to study, so make sure that once you complete the practice test, make sure you go back to Science Google Classroom, click on classwork, and go to your test review. Use your study guide to review. You also have your Quizlet flashcards, which we practiced yesterday. And then also, Odaloo is available. It will be posted under today's lesson, and you can use it to do another practice test. If you have any questions, remember I am in office hours from 2 o'clock all the way to 3:30.